Hi everybody, this is Lara from Pure Elliott Wave and with an update for Vechain. This won the vote that I ran last week, so I'll be updating this for you today. It's moved lower since my last analysis, which was looking at possibly primary 2 being over at 0.01536, and we've got a new low below that, 0.013634, so I'll look at some technical evidence to see how probable it is that primary 2 was over there. Two ways to label this. I could leave this as a double and add a triple, another X and a Z wave, but Z's hardly moved the end of Y. It has moved below, but really not by much. So the purpose of subsequent zigzags and multiples is to deepen the correction when the first or second doesn't move price deep enough. So they really should deepen the correction. So I'm going to leave this here. And what if B could have been over here? Does this work? Yeah, technically, actually that does work. I think I'd rather want to put A over down here. Actually, that's okay. Oh, I like how the BD trend line works. One of the things about Elliott Wave triangles is their trend lines. There's the BD trend line, the AC trend line. They should be strictly adhered to. You can have little overshoots, but if you have a proper breach, it's not how they should be working. And this one, the BD trend line, has multiple tests along here, so that looks really good. Okay, that's how I think I'd label that. I'm going to leave the invalidation point down here. Primary 2 could continue lower, and to eliminate that possibility, I want to see this trend channel breached with a full daily candlestick, a green candlestick of upward movement above and not touching this trend line. Let's recalculate the target. I'm going to use again 4.236. So the new target is 1.185, where primary 3 would reach 4.236, the length of primary wave 1. Let's have a look on the daily chart to see if minus C would subdivide okay. This is not looking good. Let's see if an ending diagonal would work. Oh, okay. So, okay. 3 is shorter than 1, 5 is shorter than 3, and 4 is shorter than 2. Don't like the huge overshoot of the 1-3 trend line by the 5th wave, but it's okay. I'm struggling to see how else we could see it labelled. Actually, let's try B over here. Actually, that actually has a pretty good look, the triangle for B. And so C, let's expand that out. Is the 3rd wave going to be the shortest? No. Nice. Expanded flat for 2. Decent looking impulse for 3. Nope, I think I'd put this here. Like that. Yeah, like that. Reasonable looking zigzag for 4. Might be a triangle over here. And I think 5 is going to have no problems. Oh, I think I'd put this down here and subdivide that, but I won't subdivide that now. Let's have a look at what's happening off the low. This is the upper edge of that channel. I want to see this breached by a full daily candlestick above this trend line and not touching it for confidence that there's a low in place down here. While price remains within this channel, my bottom line would be there's substantial risk to this wave count. We could see a new low, so I would leave the invalidation point down at the start of primary wave 1. I'm not prepared to move it up, even on the daily time frame. Minor 1 looks like a really good impulse. Why are you doing that, motive wave? Put it there. Okay, that looks like a pretty good 5. What's minor 2? I think this looks like a double zigzag. Yeah, like that. And then like this. That doesn't look very good. That's C. I think I'd want to see B over here. And is this going to subdivide as a diagonal? There's too much overlapping for an impulse. No, it doesn't work. 3 is longer than 1, 5 is longer than 3, but 4 is shorter than 2. So it's neither expanding nor contracting. Okay, that works. It just doesn't have very good proportion. This looks like a good 5. No, I put that there. And yeah, I put those there. If I put B here, it'd fit okay as a zigzag, but now C doesn't look right. So could B have been a combination? B waves are the worst, they really are. No, it's a double zigzag. This here. No. And the second zigzag hasn't achieved its purpose of deepening the correction. It won't fit as a triangle. I'm just going to leave that. It meets rules technically, but it just doesn't have a very good look. I wonder if the volume's sufficient for this one. Okay, so then I think I'd have to have another 1, 2, and 3 incomplete. So in a third wave at minute and minor degree, within a first wave at intermediate degree would be the conclusion from the Elliott Wave count. Technicals on the weekly. Let's have a look at this low on the 4th of January this year. Let's see. Well, there's a morning star candlestick reversal pattern here. That's nice. Strong bullish engulfing candlestick reversal pattern here. The morning star has good push from volume, and the last completed upward week has good push from volume. We've seen that before though. Strong volume up here back in July 2022, and yet price continued lower to make new lows. Just because we have short-term bullish volume profiles here doesn't mean it can't make new lows. It just adds to the weight of evidence that a low could be in place. On the weekly time frame, there is a highly technically significant resistance and support area for on-balance volume. If you're looking at Vechain daily, I would be looking at this on on-balance volume. Draw your resistance and support lines. Be careful to draw them really accurately. You don't want to bisect any of these peaks. I've put this right on that peak, and I've put this support line right on these lows. A break above resistance would be a reasonable bullish technical signal. If that happened, I would have some reasonable confidence that a low is in place for Vechain. ADX is declining. It's at a really low level. It's telling us there's no clear trend. The DX lines are whipsawing. With no clear trend, using a model of stochastics plus support and resistance, stochastics reached oversold, price reached support, expect overall stochastics to continue higher until it reaches overbought, and price to continue higher until it reaches resistance. Next resistance, 0.020781, above that, 0.0338. At the low in June 2023, there is some bullish divergence between price and RSI, but RSI didn't reach oversold. But there's some bullish divergence there. There's definitely bullish divergence with price and money flow after money flow reached oversold. So there is some technical evidence that a low could have been in place back there. So this is my bottom line. I want to see this trend line breached with a full green candlestick, a daily candlestick above and not touching it before I have confidence primary 2 is over. If that happens, I'd move the invalidation point up to here. For now, it remains down here while price remains in this channel. For primary 2 to continue lower, either the second zigzag would be extending, or more likely it'll continue lower as a triple zigzag. While triple zigzags aren't rare, they're not really very common either. So the probability of it continuing lower is relatively low. That's it for Vechain from me for your update. I think I've got Solana coming up for you tomorrow. That was the second winner of the vote. Thanks again for participating in the vote, everybody, and I'll be working through these one a day with you this week, and I hope everyone had an awesome weekend.